Welcome to the fourth episode of the Fifth String Podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Reedy, along with my co-host, Josh Foote. Along with us today is the first ever signed professional slap fighter in America, the first ever pay-per-view slap fighter, undefeated slap fighter when polished politics are not fucking involved in this sport, content creator and influencer, Cannabis Extraordinaire, the man, Mr. Koa Viernes, a.k.a. the Crazy Hawaiian.
Let's go. I had to clap for that, man. That's the best intro I ever got right there.
Hey,
shit.
not bad.
I'm going to have to clip that. Put it on my story.
Oh, we'll get you. So, Koa, thanks again for jumping on. Like, we wanted to kind of start it from the beginning, right? Like, so from a slap fighting perspective, how did you get involved into it? Did someone recruit you? Did you go and look into it yourself? How did it all come to fruition?
It was all just like a roller coaster, the build up to it. I was watching the Dumpling, the Russian slap guy, just knock out these little people. I mean, not even in his weight class. I thought it was ridiculous. And I told my fiance while watching it, I want to go up against this guy. Like, this guy is slapping a bunch of little people. So, in all fairness, I wanted to bring, like, the actual sport to the sport and not just, let everyone just make it a spectacle and, have people just disrespecting something that, I saw an opportunity to come into and just kind of wrap my fucking grip around it and turn it into an actual sport. I was working construction and I had a lunch break and I went on Facebook and I started, scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post that literally said, "So you think you can slap?"
Ooh.
Right? And I answered the question. I was like, yeah. And So I worked in the club industry in Vegas for a little bit, and this is a short story, right? This guy was talking mad shit. I was clocked out. My brother was clocked in. So basically, my brother yelled, "Slap this motherfucker." And I slapped him with my left hand, knocked him out. I ended up, waking him up, telling him that, you shouldn't have been talking shit. And my brother told me, like, "Bro, you should do the slap fighting shit," jokingly. And I saw that ad on Facebook and I responded to it, not knowing that the venue for it was 40 minutes away from where I live currently right now.
No,
and it just all worked out. And the first one I end up showing up to, my opponent didn't show up, and I was literally walking around in the venue asking every single big, huge guy that I know that was, that didn't make me look small or make me look too big, but I was asking everybody in the building, "You guys want to do this? You guys want to do this?" Nobody wanted to do, a slap fight with me. The first appearance I ever been in slap fight. And then the second one was history. It was me versus Hillbilly Hippie. And we had the record. We had the record for the most slaps for a while, for a couple of years. And that slap fight, going into it, I didn't have no technique. I was just a raging bull with no target, no respect for the rules or nothing like that. I just came into it thinking that I just got to slap this guy as hard as possible. But I really, really watched that video a lot, over 100 times at least. And I told myself, I shook my head every time. Still, if I watch that video, I shake my head because, like, now I consider myself, the pioneer in the sport, trying to do things the right way. But that slap fight, it was ridiculous. I had the most fouls anybody could ever have. It was only 21 rounds, but I took 29 slaps.
Whew.
Yeah, so it was a brutal one.
That was the first time that I saw you because ESPN picked that up. They threw that on their Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
like, what? I'm like, what the hell is this dude in these coveralls getting his shit pushed in for like this?
Right.
Because that knockout shot, I was like, holy smokes, because they didn't show all the other rounds.
No.
Right? Like I'm thinking, as the first time ever being exposed to this, I'm like, damn, this is a one and done. This big dude with this beard just pummeled this guy. What was this other guy thinking? So what was it like? What was it like after ESPN put that up for you then?
There was a light that just came on for me, because before that, any kind of slapping, the only people to even post it on any social media before that was World Star, and they were posting that slap for
bar fights and shit.
Yeah, the slap for cash dude slapping like 120-pound dude, and now it's a thing where, you know, even Dana White knows the money is there. So I'm glad to see the sport be where it's at right now, because that just means that I have to take less slaps and more iconic matchups for me is to have, exactly, get that money. That's exactly what I'm about.
Hell yeah, that's what all the greats do. Any great combat sport fighter, participant, whatever anybody wants to claim them as, I consider them as athletes. Hey, when you're good at something, you get paid for it. And the least amount you can do with the most amount of payday, that's just how it works. Like, that's how you do it.
I'm at that.
So a quick question, because so you brought it up about Dana White getting on. You're trying to get into his new league, I think, in September, because your contract's up, if I read one of these interviews right and everything.
Right.
So are you in a current promotion then right now? Is the chin slap, is that a separate, or whatever, the chin check, or is
chin
that a
check
separate
slap
promotion?
down? That's just another promotion that I'm helping.
Okay.
See, a lot of people don't see the pioneer work that I've done. A lot of people want to come into the sport and, you know, show what they got. But I honestly went into every single promotion and I looked at the rules and I said, hey, I've got the most experience, you know, that you're going to see anybody walk into your promotion. I think that you should change your rules to this. I think you should change your rules to that. I think you need medical. I think the timing should be, you know, where it's at now, you know. So I've written a lot of rules for this slap fight game, and a lot of people don't understand and realize that I'm really doing that pioneer work. And I'm not just competing, I'm not just trying to get a paycheck. I'm looking out for all the safety of all the you know, slappers that come into the sport, because for me, I've done slap events where I knocked the dude out cold and there's nobody there to fucking even check on him. I have to, like, you know, make sure he's all right. You know, make sure if he needs to go to the hospital, he'll go. I'll take him even, you know. I'll even take him out to dinner later, you know, and on me, just because I feel bad for doing that. You know what I mean? It's a free fucking shot, and you get your shot, so take your best fucking shot. I'm gonna take mine, and I'm just carrying the legacy of my kids and my last name and Hawaii, really.
It's funny you mentioned the pioneer stuff, because I listened to a Rogan podcast. It was a couple years back, but Big John McCarthy, when back at the beginning of UFC, he talks about how he helped write the rule book, because there were no rules when UFC started, and when you just talked about it, it kind of reminded me of the same thing. Like, you're going into all these different promotions coming in. Like, some promotions in UFC used to let you kick while you were on the ground and everything. Some promotion kick up while you're on the ground, where they don't allow that anymore, obviously, and all this other stuff. But you remind me of just that, taking that whole Big John McCarthy path, because he said the same way. He's like, I was helping people out, like, at the beginning, like, teaching them different stuff, and hey, there's jiu-jitsu out there, there's other opportunities, there's this, there's that, and trying to grow the sport. And obviously UFC is where it is today, and hopefully Dana White helps take your sport go to that next level.
Oh, that for sure, definitely. I was so happy to see. Another thing that I don't really talk about the things that I've done in the sport or do or currently doing. I just do them, and I don't really want no praise for it. I just want to see the growth in the sport. You know what I mean? I just want to see people that just build the sport to what it should be at. Yeah, a lot of people say some dumb shit about the sport, but yeah, if you're not there, it's pure entertainment. When you're there in person, it's so much more different than watching it at home and then giving your own judgment while you're there. Sitting there watching it from your phone. But yeah, going back to Chin Check Slapdown, I'm a part owner in that promotion. A lot of the guys that you see in Power Slap was, in my roster. And, I basically helped Power Slap, with a lot of things. Before the show was even a thing, I was talking to Gary Franco, DeFranco, which is the, what is he? Officially, he's the production, or the producer for the Ultimate Fighter shows.
Yep.
From the first one on. I've been talking to him and Frank, which is Dano's right hand man, and we basically came up with the show, to do this. And the first time around, I didn't like the contract that Dana White and everyone was from Power Slap was offering me, so I went with another one, which led to me working with Logan Paul and Arnold Schwarzenegger at the Arnold Classic. And that's I signed to a company called Fan Mio. It's just a streaming company, and basically whoever they got lined up for me, I have no say. I just have to go up against them, basically.
The Dana White contract, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it's the new terms I saw somewhere, but I read an article, $2K to show, $2K to win. It's again, like, that's for the people that that want to join. Okay.
People that signed up for it. I was talking to these guys before any of this was even a thing. I sent them my set of rules, and basically they used them.
Okay.
They used every single rule that I sent to them, and I love to see that. And again, I don't want no credit. I just want the sport to be a sport and not a fucking spectacle, and have everyone saying like, oh, this is no good and this and that. Health wise, there's a lot of concern out there, but Dana White said it perfectly. These boxers go out there and minimum 300-400 head hits, head trauma hits, and we go out there and we do 3 to 5 max. And I think that there's longevity in the sport for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up. That was one of the questions that we wanted to ask was, a lot of these so-called social media experts and these people that got Twitter thumbs and shit, they all want to say, oh, well, there's no defense involved, and you're lining up and just taking a shot. What would you say, if any, is there some stylistics points, or is there some training available, or any ways that you think that there is some way to do it? We'll get into chin tucking later. That's a whole different fucking topic.
Yeah.
But is there a way that you think that you can prepare yourself to take those, like you said, kind of undefense shots?
To be honest, as much as I've done it, there's no real way to prepare yourself for it. You kind of gotta go through the whole thing mentally and prepare yourself not to quit, because I've slapped people and you can see it in their fucking face. They're like, "Oh fuck,
I'm done."
Yeah, I don't think I want to do this. This is not for me. And I had guys slap me and then quit
because of your reaction.
Yeah, because I just ate the shit like nothing, like it was nothing. But really, really, fucking slaps really do. They sting more than anything. They sting more than anything. And so, really, it's the battle of the chins. It's the battle of who has the granite chin, who can take the most damage. Because at the end of the day, it really is a coin toss. And if you're going first, you have 100% the upper hand in any slap fight that you go into. The guy that won the coin toss and decided to go second, he got his ass knocked the fuck out. And I watched that and I laughed and I was like, this guy does not know. Those are the type of people that come in and say, oh, I can take a slap. This ain't nothing. But then when you go up against somebody that visually watch the people that are great at it and then apply what, the greats are doing, it's hard to beat, to be honest. And it's like no other sport, really. You can't even compare it to anything. Everything else, you can defend yourself. You can get out of the way. You can pretty much avoid getting hit at all costs. This one is just, you really just got to stand there and take it. And
I think you kind of hit the, you have these beginners that come in, and I think you mentioned earlier in the podcast how you kind of look back at your first fight and you're like, man, I didn't know what I was doing. I bet you if you took your hand slap rotation compared to your first fight, I bet you probably miss by, you're probably within a centimeter of every hit now every time, which back then you were probably 5 centimeter range or maybe even more. And it's it's the same thing with like Tiger Woods. When he was probably a little kid, he probably missed quite a bit. Now you look at a club face of his golf ball, it hits in the same exact damn spot every time. And these new beginners probably come in thinking that, and then you just come in and hit them in that same exact damn spot every time. They're like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Golfing is a good way of getting your aim right too. I was never a good golfer. Shit, I'm still not a good golfer. I gotta get really drunk to enjoy myself on the course.
Hey,
I love
you come to Michigan, we'll get you plenty drunk and we'll go golfing, buddy.
Hey, hell yeah! I love the range though. I love hitting that ball like as hard as I can, and I love it. There's a lot of ways you can improve your technique in the world of slap fighting, and just one of the biggest things, if you're new at the sport, like, don't look away. It doesn't do nothing for you. It's cringy to me to watch people do this. You're lining up and they're ready. They're about to give their best slap and they do this.
Yeah, I see a lot of that on social media.
You don't really see a golfer looking away from the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. That's one of the biggest things for me. I corrected very early on, and that's one of my big things. There was a Hawaii boy that was Kainoa Russell Rivera, and I was screaming that shit. I was like, eye on, eye on the target. Because once you look away and you look back, I don't know what it is, but for me, by experience, when you look back, the target's it's almost not where it was when you looked away, because your body and your just there's a lot of things to take into account if you really want to be good at the sport. And I see some guys out there that they have their own kind of technique, which is not wrong, and also not right, but they try, and I like to see like the different kind of techniques just to see if their shit works out the way they think it will. But man, I'm a sponge. I just love watching the sport now. I love watching other people do their thing. Different techniques is crazy to me. How people think that certain techniques work and they don't. Like going all the way down to the ground. I saw that for a few guys. Like you're doing a whole squat before you even hit the guy, and you must be tired. It's a lot of energy. But yeah.
So is there any uniqueness that you find between like international competitors or people from certain geographic areas that tend to do one thing, and certain people from another area do something else, either look away, squat down, something like that?
Yeah, it's not. To me, it's not so much like where the person's from. It's probably more catered to what you think is right in your head.
Okay.
Because when you're standing there and you're about to either take a slap or give a slap, it's different than thinking about it. You can think about it all day long, but once you're up there and you're about to give your slap, it's nerve wracking. It's anxiety at its finest, like driving through you, and you really got to overcome your nerves because already, your knees are shaking. You're up on a big stage. Well, at least for me, I get nervous. That's why you see me like exerting all this energy, screaming and hollering and shit.
Yeah, you're walking around a lot.
Yeah, because I'm already nervous. Walking into it, I know what I signed up for. I ain't no idiot. I know I can get knocked out. But why not put on a show while I'm there? So that's what I want. I just want to put on a show in every promotion that I go in and I enter. So I'm ready at any time.
I mean, I think if you go into any sport, if you're not nervous, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw George St. Pierre in one time in an interview say he never slept well before a fight except for one fight. The one fight he slept well before, he got knocked out by Matt Serra the next day.
Damn.
Matt Serra was a bad man for a while too.
Yeah, for real, for sure.
But yeah, it was a crazy thing to hear. I was like, I slept well before that fight, and I got knocked. That's the only time I got knocked out, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because the time I got knocked out, I actually didn't sleep well.
Okay.
And I was, I was honestly doubting my, just being there. I felt like, because the meetings before that event even happened, the meetings before that, we had about 3 or 4 of them. It was, you could tell that these guys did not want me to win. You could tell. My fiance sitting next to me, my dad and my uncle and my brothers, my whole team that was next to me. We offered, oh, hey, can we be up on the stage? They let my dad be on the stage because, like, if you think I'm a beast, bro, you should see my dad.
Yeah.
He won't take no for an answer. Like,
Okay.
The only reason why he was on that stage is because he wanted to be on that stage. They did not want him to be on that stage. You see how he was on the stage, but he wasn't able to catch me. He wasn't able to do any of that. And all the officials was from Poland.
Correct.
The only American anything that we had was the announcers, and I wanted to prove a point. Like somebody once told me that there's no money in it. You won't make any money in it. So I had something to prove. And just doing that was a big money fight for me. I was the first ever, you guys know it, the first ever to do it, to be signed as a professional slap fighter. And that shit burned into my head. Yeah.
No.
So I couldn't tell. Were you guys just in a convention center, just up on a stage or a raised stage? It was because I bet the guy we had on before that I think Josh had mentioned, you a bodybuilder. That's how he actually got his sponsorship. Was he would go down to the Arnold because that's where all the supplement companies go, blah 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 blah, and everything else. So he went down there and he told us it's a convention center. I'm like, there was because when they zoomed out, you could see all the people just expanding back.
Sea of people.
But it just looked like a convention center. I couldn't tell if they could all see, if they couldn't see, and you guys were just on a raised stage. It was hard to tell from the camera angle.
One of my good friends, he actually drove, I think, 12 hours to be there. He got there very late, and he couldn't even get near the stage. He said he was where the entrance was, and he said he could still see it because we were raised up and everything like that. So I believe everyone that was there was able to see, basically everything that went down.
So who picked the Polish mafia to come judge and everything else? Like, because from my understanding, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Logan Paul were the kind of announcing it. Were they the promoters and stuff behind all this too? Or
they were backing it 100%. The guys that write the checks from Fan Meal, they were the ones to, basically reach out to these guys. They were called punch down before, which don't make sense because you're not punching anything. But they are I believe they're currently not allowed to do that in their country anymore because the guy that went, and mind you, the guy that knocked me out, tested positive for some enhancements. So I don't count that as a loss. And also he can't do it in his country because it killed 2 people before me.
Killed 2 people?
Killed 2 people before me. And I can confidently say that, publicly. He did kill 2 people.
In an event? Or just, holy shit.
Yep,
dude.
he killed 2 people in his country. That's
just
why
small guys?
No, they do it by weight class. So they're doing it by, the big men. And I don't think he went up against anyone that was in his weight class, but he was feared. Nobody else wanted to go up against him, and he was considered the best in the world. Never lost. Which I did. I did commentary work for Slap Strike, partners with HBO. We did commentary work, and I was one of the guest speakers. And we watched the whole tournament go down with him versus Vasily was the very end. And when we watched it down, they rigged it. He lost that fight. They made them go again because he came short. They didn't want him to lose, so they added another round to it. And then he ended up, wobbling Vasily, and then they gave him the win. But if you watch the whole fight back, he was wobbled at least 4 times. Vasily only 3. So really, that's their guy they want to win all the time. That's their person that they're willing to put in the limelight and say that that's their best guy. Which I was out to prove that he wasn't shit. But whenever we were having the safety meetings, they had everything to say about how I slapped. Everything to say about how I slapped. Literally, they told me I couldn't come from the bottom like this. So they wanted me to come like this.
Like
so
180 degrees instead.
Yeah. So days before, I was working on a new technique, and a lot of people don't know that I was forced to do something different than what I normally did, and they didn't tell him nothing. They didn't tell him that he couldn't do certain things. The chin checking, the chin tucking got me like wild, dude. It's still like something that I look back to today, and I'm glad I'm the one that went through that on a big stage, because now in power slap that shit ain't allowed. Which I'll gladly take the I'll gladly go up against somebody that does that if it means that, he can't do it again after me, And I proved no matter how much you tuck your chin, I'll still be able to find your button. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll still be able to rock you.
And you folded him. I think it was round 2, right? That you folded him. And they showed I mean, I got 2 kids now, so I can get a little bit of a chin going, but he had a lot more than I did. He was down to my fucking collar.
He had 3 or 4 going.
That he wasn't chin checking like that. I'm like, bro, I see 3 rolls. Like, what the fuck you mean you're not?
Oh yeah, it's crazy that that was the thing. While I was doing, in the midst of it, I was trying to let them know, like, hey, this is not fucking fair. You know what I mean? But the first one, I didn't have no target to hit, so I hit him on the fucking neck because I really didn't have nothing to hit him on. He was just a turtle. He's just like, he had a retractable neck or something like that.
Right.
But or a chin. But the pass is the pass, and I'm glad that the number 1 promotion in the world right now, which is Power Slap, I can confidently say Power Slap is the number 1, the UFC of slap fighting, and everything else is just Bellator and all the other stuff. But they caught on to that. They said no chin tucking allowed, and now you have to put your chin out, actually put it out, and not do this shit and try to like, get a one up on somebody. Just take the goddamn slap. You signed up for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So where do you think that was a major event? Like that's again like one of those fights where we came to really notice who you were. Like there was the ESPN with the hillbilly hippie. Then there was, I'm just going to call him the Polish guy. I don't even want to give him his name after this because now I don't want to give him that. So heading into a fight, especially something like with that type of promotion and the people that are involved, what's like your game day ritual? You hear professional athletes all like, oh, I got to nap by this time, I eat this meal, I do this. Do you have a ritual or anything that night of an event?
Yeah. The Crazy Hawaiian, I actually like turn into that persona. I think about my bloodline, my heritage, where the Hawaiians came from, because back in the day, we were just a bunch of savages, speaking our own language, doing our own religion and all that. And then here comes the British and America and trying to change it. And I try to think about what us Hawaiians used to be without anything, and we fought each other for land, hand to hand combat. I studied Hawaiian martial arts for 4 years, and that's all like I could take. You get broken bones and everything that comes with studying Hawaiian martial arts, and I just kind of turn into like a real fucking crazy Hawaiian. My fiance, I tell her like, don't ask me no questions. Today is the day that I have to do this. We can talk after the whole thing goes down, but you've been here with me in this situation. My first one, I was nervous as fuck. I was in the backstage and like I was pacing back and forth and I was trying to psych myself out. And the announcer guy said, "What do you want us to announce you as? You want us to call you by your name?" And I looked down and I remember telling myself, I was telling myself, you're fucking crazy Hawaiian, bro. Like, why are you doing this? So I looked up at the dude and I said, "You're crazy Hawaiian." And from that point on, every slap fight that I do, it's like I go to bed, like I sleep good the day before, which is funny that, GSP that he doesn't sleep good for all his fights. And then when he does sleep good, I feel like I need my like real rest, because when I turn it, right, when I turn into the crazy Hawaiian, I'm different than how I am currently right now. The crazy Hawaiian is sleeping right now. He's in a cave somewhere sleeping. And I don't really turn him on for nothing. Like if I'm getting paid and I want to put on the show, I want to be different. I don't want to be like anyone else, and I want to prove my worth in entertainment purposes. So I literally turn into something else. Like I turn into a fucking crazy person. Like don't fucking talk to me. I don't do any interviews the day of. Like you guys can ask me a bunch of questions after. I like to drink smoothies and shit like in the morning, and so I like even the day before I try to drink or eat something good to make myself feel good, but I need that rest the day before, because when I wake up the day of slap fighting, once I wake up I feel the crazy Hawaiian just like, all right, bro, this is it. You know what I mean? Can I come out? You know what I mean? Can I fucking wake this beast up? And then I start, like, I remember doing this whole breathing thing where I feel like I'm turning to something else, where I just take like a deep breath and it's kind of like kind of breath, you know. And I'm just like letting because I come with a lot of respect and love, you know. That's the kind of person I am. You know, I love to just show people that I have a lot of respect for people, even though the disrespectful people are there. I still respect them. So whenever I turn into the crazy Hawaiian, I don't give a fuck about respect. Don't talk to me. Don't ask me no questions. My even my fiance says my eyes look different.
Then you know it's on. Then
yeah,
you know it's on.
and then you know it's on. Yeah, and she's so supportive, and she knows that when it's game time like that, she knows all she has to do is just support me and you know roll with the slaps with me. So
Right.
it's a whole thing, dude. I turn into something different. You know, I don't want to fucking talk. I don't want to just tell me when I gotta go up on stage because I got all this energy just built up, and then when I get out there, I'm gonna let it all out, whether I'm fucking screaming or hollering or whatever it is I'm doing, but turn into something different. And I don't think like I'm glad I have this opportunity to fucking let it out of myself because if I didn't have this, I don't know, I'd probably be in jail for some dumb shit.
Yeah. So what's the come down then after that, right? So match is over.
It's a big
All right.
adrenaline dump. There's every single slap fight I've
sleeping?
done. There's a big adrenaline dump for me after every slap fight now, where I have this whole build up and have this all this tension and energy built up. When it's done and over with, and I'm walking off the stage, I start, you know, I'm already sweating, but I start sweating a little bit more, and then I have to sit down, I have to drink water, and then I need a bucket immediately because I'm about to throw up. That's how much adrenaline dumping that I have in every single slap fight, and even when I got knocked out, I went to the backstage and I did the normal routine that I normally do. But since the medical staff was there and watching me, they were super concerned that, oh, I'm throwing up now. And I was trying to let them know that, hey, this is a normal thing for me. I'm good. You know, I'm good. But I went to the hospital. I did a CAT scan, MRI, whatever it is they needed me to do, and I was normal. There's nothing wrong with me. So I have full confidence that this sport will last a long time, especially with the brain scans that they do. If you can't do it, you can't do it. You know, sucks to be you, but right now I'm a healthy ox in the sport. Like you put me through any type of testing, most you're gonna find is some weed.
Hell yeah. Which that's a real good segue because, like Dennis said in the intro, Mr. Cannabis Extraordinaire. Explain to us a little bit some of your business ventures that you got going on.
Got you. You know, growing up in Hawaii, I've been smoking weed for pretty much my whole life. But it was always frowned upon, even you know with my family and everything, and society nowadays is always frowned upon. So I took it upon myself to reach out to, you know, this company right here in California, Game Day,
Yep.
and I saw the opportunity to present, you know, what I have to offer to the. My bad. I didn't expect the call.
No, you're good.
1 second.
Oh, you're good.
All right. I thought I turned my fucking ringer down, but so the cannabis industry, my newfound partner, Kevin Kim in Chin Check Slapdown, he's a you know, early day promoter with the Booyah tribe and everybody that's connected with the California music, the LA scene. So I partnered up with him because I saw an opportunity to jump on another promotion, and this time I'm not just helping out. I'm a part owner. Chin Check Slapdown is a promotion that prides itself on having the biggest stages that you could possibly put a slap fight in. There's a lot of things that came about doing a Chin Check Slapdown. We were invited to G4 Live, which is one of the biggest cannabis conventions anywhere. And we weren't able to get regulated like how our slap is now. So we got invited to do a slap fight there, and we had a bunch of guys that were ready to, throw down, but we were cut off by the commissioners, which we showed up anyway as slap fighters. We made our presence known, and in that walking into that type of world, you see these guys that are just starting up their companies that want to venture off into doing, promoting athletes that use cannabis. And I saw the opportunity and I jumped on it. And now we're making, the Crazy Hawaiian Slap 2, which is the name of the strain. It's gonna knock you out whether you like it or not. So for all the lightweights, you can't smoke my shit.
Damn,
You know what I mean?
I'm out, man.
You can puff it a little bit, but right now we're working on diamond carts for the more stealthy smokers that don't want to be loud and about. But we're more
pens, guys.
Yeah. Fucking this any athletes that want to venture off into the cannabis world, we're welcoming with open arms, and we just want that light to be spread because cannabis and sports they go together to be honest, and it's only now that people are realizing that it's a natural thing. It's way better than any enhancement that you can possibly imagine, but it's fair. It's not some chemicals that people put into their body, some natural stuff, and it helps with anxiety. It helps with the nervousness of doing this kind of stuff, and I like it because I like it. I mean, I like it. I liked it for the feeling of it, but now I like it for the medical purposes, and just helping with healing, helping with even people with struggling with depression. That's a big thing too. Some people call it a gateway drug, but come on now, cigarettes is a fucking gateway drug to alcohol, whatever the fuck. But I just want to shed that light because Michael Phelps got caught for smoking weed and got all his shit taken away, which I think was fucked up. But I don't know.
One of the most decorated United States athletes of all time. And what? Because he got caught with a freaking Facebook photo ripping a bong?
Right.
Well, look at Laramie Tunsil, the guy who had the gas mask on, the offensive tackle. Good for him. He just signed a 4-year, $72 million deal. I was so happy for him. All because on draft night, his stepdad decides to release a picture of him in a gas mask that almost ruins his NFL career.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that it doesn't make sense to me that that it's being looked at like that. And it is what it is. I'm trying my best to shed some light on athletes, real athletes using cannabis, because it's nothing but a plant. You know what I mean? It's not to enhance, your performance. It's really to enhance your mood, enhance your recovery, mostly. Everything that I do now for the cannabis industry is to shed light on, athletes trying to be in that world, being an athlete and smoking, or partaking in cannabis or whatever it is that you do, gummies, edibles, or whatever it is that you do. Cannabis shouldn't be looked upon like that, like how it's looked upon right now. So I'm always going to be an advocate for cannabis in any type of sport setting or athletes that want to, do that. If anything, it might make you a worse athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no shit.
So I don't know why people are, talking about it like it's a steroid or something like that. But
What's your preferred method? You an edible guy? You ripping roars or bongs or
like
that?
I do it if it's in front of me. If it's in front of me, I do it. You know what I mean? All it has to do is make my way into my system, make its way into my system. But really, really, like I love it. I've been, partaking since I was a kid, and now I get paid to pretty much to smoke. I get paid to let people know, like, hey, use this product, use my discount code. You know what I mean? Like, I get paid to spread the word. And also, I'm studying to get my master's in the cannabis world. So that's something that, I really want to, venture deeper into. Right now, I feel like it's just a surface level. I feel like I'm just trying to get a product out that has my name on it right now. But eventually, I want to be in it. I want to work for the industry, and I just want to be that pioneer in that, that sport. You call it smoking, so I'm partaking in that.
Oh, it's a sport, man. That's a sport for sure.
Yeah.
And here's going to be your shocking moment. I've never tried it once in my life. I'm the only person out of any group, and Josh will.
Person I know.
I've never tried it, but I'm
Look
a
at those
huge.
eyes. Look at those eyes. You're getting the Koa special package getting sent over.
I'm a huge advocate for it because you brought it up earlier. I don't get why people talk shit about it. It's helped people a lot in my life that have dealt with cancer, take away pain, and everything else. And I don't know one benefit from drinking except for maybe some European stat that says one glass of wine helps you with heart disease or something. But there's
Right.
no drinking that helps with any health benefits. And what weed, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, people want to call it, I mean, it has so many benefits to people that are in true pain, like I said, cancer, glaucoma, everything else. There's so many benefits to it. I don't get why it's also frowned upon because it's almost funny. There's more people killed on a daily basis by alcohol than in a year by weed.
Right.
Being behind a wheel. So,
Right.
But everyone's, oh yeah, okay. We just got past one of the biggest drinking holidays of the year, and no one frowns upon probably 4 or 5 million people that got behind the wheel on St. Patty's Day last Friday
Right.
and drove behind a drunk. But
Right.
God forbid someone smokes up a blunt out on the street that's not giving it to any kid or anything else, and put them on the ground. Let's arrest them. Like I don't get it.
It's coming around though. Like it's slowly making its way to the limelight where, you see sponsorships on big platforms putting it out there, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get my endorsement deal up on it's called game day for a reason, So I want to see this right here on the side of the stage for Power Slap. You know what I mean? I want to see that, and that's something that I got to talk to Dana White personally about.
And I think there is benefits there because, like you said, after a fight, I mean, as much shit as Nate Diaz got when he used to light up a blunt at the presser at times, I mean, they just got the shit kicked out of him for 5 rounds. You got 3 hard-ass, I think it's 3 rounds in Power Slap, right? You just got hit by someone that knows what the hell they're doing, and your face is swelled up, everything else. Why not let these guys take a little relief or pain? And Motrin, 400 milligrams of Motrin ain't going to do it. Let them do what they want to do. They're not doing some hard drug or gateway drug. I mean, I haven't seen any links that marijuana is a gateway drug, so until someone shows me that, let them do it.
Only squares say that.
It's not. So, smoked weed damn near my whole life. It is not.
I don't know. Weed for me is a gateway to plate of food.
There you go.
It's a gateway to $40 at Taco Bell. That's what the fuck it is for me, man.
All I see that as is helping the economy. So they should legalize
People
it.
helping people.
Right.
So like you said, so that's kind of a good transition point there, Dennis. You know, after fights and treatments and things like that. What's it like with the guys behind the stage, right? You guys just got done slapping the shit out of one another. Are you guys cool behind the stage? Is there some actual beefs that happen with some certain guys, or is it kind of just all respect? How does that work?
I say about maybe about six of those slap fights that I've done, guys really didn't like me. Talk shit about me on social media. Told everyone they're gonna knock me out. And I don't know what it is about me. As soon as you see me in person, it's just like you never talk shit about me, and we're friends. And I'm looking at my fiance like, I don't think this guy is really like about that. You know what I mean? Because for me, if I have something bad to say about somebody, and you're on my bad side, I'm not gonna stand there and shake your hand like we're cool. I'm gonna tell you straight up like, what's good? We talked all that shit, and now, but a lot of people that talk shit on social media called me out, and they got the opportunity to slap fight me. As soon as they see me in person, it's like, oh, I offer my hand to you for a handshake, and I shake their hand, and I grab their shit, and I pull them to me, and I fucking let them know like, well, what's with all that shit talking? And they're like, oh yeah, no, I was just trying to build up the fight, and I was like, well, you're lucky I'm a nice guy, because really all the shit that you've been saying that you want to knock me out, it's all good, bro. Like, meet me at the barrel, and we'll figure it out. And most of them, after the slap fight, they hit me up either on social media or text or whatever it is, and most of them are like, fuck, I didn't know you hit that hard. Most of them are like that, but this Russian guy or the Polish guy, he didn't really have anything bad to say. It wasn't no bad blood. He didn't really talk any English, so I didn't really get to like have even kind of a shit talking moment with him. But out of all the slap fights I've done, and everyone's tried to talk shit and say that they're gonna knock me out, this guy called me out and write a whole fucking paragraph on YouTube, and then we flew him out, and he literally asked me to take it easy on him, and I said, motherfucker, you signed that contract. It's me versus you, bro. Like, you're gonna do all this shit talking and then ask me to go light on you. That's not how I want to play the game. So you done fucked up. You know what I mean? You done barked up the wrong tree. So everyone that I've knocked out, they show me immediate respect after, and they probably regret talking shit about me through social media. But we still got all that guys, a few of them talking shit still. They still want the smoke, but they don't realize that I'm a different fucking beast in the sport.
Well, speaking of, I saw a video. I think you're out at one of your boys' fight in Vegas a week or two ago. I think your brother was supposed to fight the first day, but no one showed up maybe, and some other stuff. There was a guy on video I saw chirping behind you nonstop. Who's that clown? Sorry, if it's one of your boys.
Yeah, no, he is a fucking clown. No, he's a fucking clown. So this guy, his social media name is Slap4Cash. Literally, he gives people $50 to get blindfolded, and mostly blindfolded and getting slapped by this dude. And that's the only reason why he's even famous out there. He been for $50. Some of them for free. He talks about how famous he is and how much how famous they're gonna be by letting him slap them. And if you look him up, all he has is slaps that people like let them do, and he don't take no slaps. But then He did take a slap from Logan Paul one time, and he got knocked the fuck out.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He'd probably knock me out still, but I'm still gonna call him a clown, even if I saw him in his face. He looks like a clown. He looks like a fake wannabe gangster in his fake half-ass tinted Gucci glasses and everything else, and and he's just nonstop chirping in the middle of a fight. All you're trying to do is watch a fight, and he's sitting in the video just trying to get views and clicks and everything else off just chirping you.
He was talking about my brothers at the end of that clip. If you watch the whole thing, he was talking about, oh, my brothers won't save you, me. My brothers were the ones that was telling me to not fuck him up right then and there. My brother, I had one on my left and one on my right, and we're all equally the same size. So if I gave the okay, it would have been 3v1, to be honest. And it's not even like that. Like, I let my brothers go up and fight their own battles and all that. But if I'm watching my brother go at it with somebody else, it's something in me that just fucking just turns into a crazy Hawaiian again, you know? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to enjoy the fucking show. And when he was making those fucking stupid videos, we barely got into the second slap fight. And I'm like, damn, I was invited to this motherfucker. And they sat me in the front of right on the stage. No one in front of me. This clown's behind me, chirping away, trying to get a reaction. But little does he know, I'm ready to turn around and fucking fly this chair at his face. And my brothers are the one that's telling me, hey, let's just enjoy the show. Let's just watch the show. You're here for a reason. So when I got invited, Dana White, the presidents of the show, of everything, they all came walking up to me and my brothers. Nobody else. There was famous people on the left and right of us. They didn't walk up to anybody else. They walked up to me and my brothers and they asked us, how are we doing with the show? And I'm a fucking guy from the islands. I don't fucking even belong here. You know what I mean? And you got guys that's high profile like that walking up to me and my brothers asking if we're doing a good job, like they need our approval, which they don't. But that should tell you something. You're sitting behind us chirping away, and you got a free ticket from somebody. You wasn't invited by Dana White himself, and now you're just trying to get a rise. But he was lucky. He was lucky that my brothers was there with me, because I'm not one to back down. I'm not one to pussy out on anything. And the most I feel like I needed to do is flip him off. And that was the first time I ever in my whole entire life let somebody talk shit to me and walk away in my whole life.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious. Like, so with that guy, it's like that's a ton of self-constraint, and your brothers aren't going to always be around, right? So it's like, how many times now, based off of your success and your profile, do you get people coming up trying to challenge you, drunk motherfuckers or anything like that, or like?
Oh, all the time.
So
all the time.
How do you, outside of, I don't know, maybe 500 milligram gummies, try to like stay between the lines and not just drop fools left and right?
I just think about, me being a pioneer, and I think about, the headline of, oh, the crazy Hawaiian really goes crazy on somebody. Because before my fame that I have now, if you know me from before, I live up to the name the crazy Hawaiian. Like, I've done some fucked up shit to some people and walked away like it was nothing. I've fucking was called out by a whole group of men that thought they had me, and I was by myself. And next thing you know, I'm walking away, and 5 of them are snoring on the ground. And like, I live up to that name, the crazy Hawaiian. And now there's so much people doing it, calling me out. I feel like a changed man. I feel like I'm proud of myself for walking away from a situation where I usually would assert my dominance and show them that, bro, I don't know what it is about me. If you think I look a certain way, or I'm just quiet and humble in person, but as soon as I get turned on, there's not a lot of people that can get in front of me and really stop me. I'm like fucking King Kong. I need a fucking little white girl to fucking look at me in my eyes and tell me that I'll be all right. That's why my fiance is a little white girl. That she's the only one that can fucking like bring me back from it. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy that there's a lot of people out there like talking shit. They even slide in my DMs talking about you ain't shit, talking shit about my technique, and I'm fat and this and that. And I'm like, bro, this is a fat man sport if I ever seen one, bro. You know what I mean? Like you can come off the fucking couch and become a fucking slap fighter. The odds of you knocking somebody out is a lot greater than as if you was to take up a real fucking combat sport, MMA, boxing. The odds are against you at all cost. As much as your opponents are taking the time to fucking really train for it, the odds are against you. It's up to you. But for slap fighting, I really believe that there's people gonna come in there and you're gonna look at them and say, what the fuck is he doing in the sport? And he's gonna be knocking guys out. And it's gonna be like mind-boggling that this fucking fat dude that doesn't even look like an athlete is coming up in here and just putting on a show. So, it's a dad bod sport, and I'll say it again, dad bod sport.
Love that. I'm gonna get a super light flyweight division. Maybe I'll put my toes in the ring a little bit. But what?
Have you seen these guys?
Dude, I'm right now. I'm flirting 170, and I can cut too. I'm 170 and I can cut. So you get me a super flyweight. I got some long ass arms. I got a 6'2" wingspan, and I'm 5'11". Decent hands. I wear a size large glove. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
I'm not gonna be able to cut to middleweight, so light heavyweight, I'm getting my ass knocked out. I'm not getting in there.
My chin's glass as fuck though, dude. I've been dropped so many times.
That was the first time I ever got knocked out in my whole life. That from that Polish dude. I was convinced, like, I have a rough childhood growing up, and I was convinced that nobody can knock me out, like really, really knock me out. And I was convinced until that day when I did get knocked out, I was humbled, but that shit was just like an eye opener for me. That I can't just be too cocky and just. No, I could have fucking tucked my chin a little bit. You can't even tell. Look, you can't even tell.
Oh, they mentioned. I think Jake had said something about that. Like, oh, we can't. Like when he was announcing it, can't even tell where his chin is with the beard.
Yeah,
but there was some bull. Hey, the one thing I wanted to make sure that I expressed my thought of watching that video a handful of times is there was some bullshit with. Do you guys call them the catchers? Who's the team that's making sure that's behind everybody? What do you guys call them?
I call them the officials.
Okay.
But
those officials were not fucking helping you out one bit the way they helped his ass out.
I slow motion watched them just cheer as I was going down.
Dude, the dude that was closest to the camera on the first slow-mo with his back, he did an underarm pickup of the Polish dude, and he pushed you. He helped you down.
Oh yeah,
on yours.
So when I got knocked out, because I did get knocked out, I was out for at least 5 seconds, and it's a long 5 seconds.
Sure.
When I opened my eyes and I was sitting on the ground, I knew that I got knocked out. Right then and there, I didn't know I got knocked out. Obviously, I was out cold. But as soon as I opened my eyes and I was sitting on the ground, I knew I had time to stand up, because the rules are, at least in that promotion, they were allowing people to get up, and they were allowing people to use their time to recover.
Yep.
Tell me why when I opened my eyes, that same guy that was doing this when I was going down,
yep,
was holding my shoulder down with force and telling me, and I can fucking repeat it like in my head, because it haunts me that I didn't fucking say something. I didn't open my mouth more about it. But he was holding me down, and he said, "You lose, you lose. Don't stand up. You lose, you lose." And I was like, I moved his hand, and I'm almost fucking 400 pounds. There was nobody on that stage that helped me stand up. I stood up on my own. And then I had somebody, I don't know who it was, but they were hugging my waist as if I needed to be held up. And I was pushing that person off of me. And I told them, it's my turn. Like, you guys are celebrating like it's over. But in this slap fight world that I live in, I know the rules. I've fucking knocked people completely out. And they took their time to get back up. And in the time allotted, they fucking hit me back. And I was accepting of it. I let them hit me back, and then I knocked them out again. So while getting up, I see this celebration. I hear people, and mind you, there's a clock on the ground behind the fucking the middle of us, the table. There was a clock that reset after every slap. I looked at the clock, right? They gave us a minute. I looked at the clock. When I came to, I looked at the clock, and they were announcing that I lost, that I got knocked out. That clock still had 35 seconds on it. And that, to me, it was like, that was a $20,000 fuck up from the officials. Because if I won, I would have got an extra 20.
Well, and the other thing is, you already knocked him out in the second round, so he was already kind of messed up already. So it's hard to say you would, if you hit, especially if you knocked him out again. Because was it a 3-round scheduled fight?
It was 5, and the first one, it should have been called. He should have been called for flinching, 100%.
Correct.
It was no fucking call at all. But I got called for something, which honestly I didn't understand why I got a foul, but that's what the official told me. Because these guys didn't talk a lot of English. So when I was told that, hey, I was fouled, I had a penalty, I looked at them like, what penalty? Do you see this fucking guy tucking his chin? That's a fucking penalty. And they allowed it. They allowed him to do that. They held him up, and then when I got dropped, I was held down. So to me, officially, I don't count that as a loss, but I signed up for it. That is a loss. You know what I mean? Whether he could piss test or piss clean or not, it's something that, like, it's an eye opener for me. I'm glad I went through it in that aspect, because now there's a lot of people that see that and they're like, you know, that's a coward move. And a lot of people don't try to tuck their chin. But I feel like if I tucked my chin too, it would have been an okay in the sport for us to go and do that and endorse that type of behavior. But I don't want that. You know, I don't want that. If you sign up for it, you're not taking elbows or knees. It's a fucking slap. Take it and then try your best to give one of your own. And that's the name of the game. And that's all I stand for, to be honest. I don't fucking stand for all that, you know, trying to tuck your chin or put your shoulders up high to fucking, it's just weird. Like, just take the fucking slap. And if you get knocked out, you get knocked out. So be it.
So obviously you have 6 kids. We don't want to keep you too much longer, but
no, they're down. They're down already. I made sure they're not gonna interrupt this at all.
So I do have a quick question though, because when you got knocked down, did the back of your head smack the stage too? When no one caught you?
No. So
okay.
I fell forward a little bit.
Yep.
And then when I went down, I kind of just sat down.
Okay.
And it was
from the camera angle I saw it. Josh was telling me about a different angle. I didn't see that video. It was hard to tell if you laid down or not, because I was thinking on top of him, like, just like in football, like sometimes the concussion doesn't happen from the initial hit. It happens when the guy's helmet smacks the back.
No, I came to. I was ready. I stood up on my own. I was ready to give my slap. I walk off the stage on my own. I let him have his whole little celebration. And mind you, the whole time, these Polish guys are just like so fucking happy that they took out the number one slap fighter in U.S. And it was built on that, you know. There was no American officials. They took well advantage of that too. I was promised to have half American officials the next time around, which would have been in March. Well, it's March now. It would have been the beginning of this month at the Arnold. But now that it's sanctioned and now that you have to do a piss test, he's never gonna step in front of me again. Never gonna happen again. Because if you look at him as a fucking specimen, he's huge. He ain't small. And he won't be able to pass no fucking drug tests or nothing like that unless he just stops right now, and maybe a year from now he might be able to take, you know, a clean drug test. But I know now that that's not a good fucking, I guess what you call, try to make a trilogy out of it. That's not a good opponent for me, because he's got to get his shit straight first.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for other people, because I don't think I have a fucking arch nemesis or anything like that in the sport right now. I think I'm like I'm up there with the, you know, I don't know. These guys are doing it for $2,000 each or whatever the fuck. I started doing it for free, and I deserve the pay that I you know, I say I want when I want it. I feel like I deserve that because I am entertaining. I provide knockouts, and people want to see me get knocked out. To be honest, you know what I mean? People think my beard is what's saving me from getting knocked out, but as you can see, I got knocked out. So, you know, the beards are just an accessory, I think. But you know, if you can't grow a beard, then you got two moms. Yes.
So, with the future going to Power Slap, I do have a question because you brought up all the drug testing. UFC uses USADA. Does Power Slap use USADA also? They do the same exact routines, the same exact checkups that they do on all the UFC fighters. So, my brother is the only signed super heavyweight slap fighter on the roster. So he's got a target on his back. He's got some time before I show up to, you know, make a name for himself. And I support him, you know, all the way through and through. But if these guys think that they can match me, my brother, up against each other, I'm gonna tell them straight up. I'm gonna take a knee, let my brother take the win, and we're both gonna walk away with your money. Got me? Don't fucking put up against each other. I love my brother way more than fucking money. And yeah, we fought, you know, as kids and everything, but now we're adults, and I do this for my family. And what's it to me to go knock out my brother for some entertainment? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure you guys already did that while you were younger.
Yeah, they had these epic throwdowns.
Oh yeah.
So, because you mentioned your brother being super heavyweight, because that was going to be one of my questions, because I saw on the Power Slap website that it only goes up to heavyweight, and it looks like they're following a lot of the UFC weight classes and everything, with heavyweight being 265. Is there a cutoff at super heavyweight, or is it just 265 plus?
I think it's 265 plus, and that's how it should be. And honestly, they should make that weight class for, you know, MMA too, for UFC. That would be fucking crazy to see. Some big ass fucking men, sloppy motherfuckers, and they will be funny too to watch that. But I feel like the super heavyweight matches, especially the ones that I've seen, is, I don't know, it's just way more anticipation for the knockout. It's way more build up. It's just like we want to see the big guys slap each other, and that's how it's always been. You know, like the smaller guys slapping each other it's fun and all, and especially when they get knocked out, you know. So like, but I feel like this sport is really going to make the most their money from the biggest guys you can find on planet Earth. Imagine the guys like Tim Sylvia that used to be a UFC champ now is interested in competing. Imagine having that guy on my resume and knocking his ass out. Well, I can ask for a better situation that was planned out by someone else, you know. And there's a lot of other people that want to, venture off into it too. Ex-champs, ex-athletes that are doing, boxing and all that. So obviously it's catching some likes of some crazy people, but I'm just glad I'm here, letting people know that, if you want to be the best, then you gotta take out the best. And right now there's no super heavyweight champion power slap. And if my brother doesn't become it before I show up on the scene, I'm gonna let people know that that's what I'm here for. That's the only thing that I'm here for is the belt. I want to be known as the greatest that ever did it. I want to be known for my work as a fucking pioneer in the sport, and not just, making shit happen for myself, my family. I want to make sure that, I give these other guys a chance to make money too, because yeah, they're getting paid little money right now, but and I'm on a different level with my pay scale, so I don't know how it's gonna pan out whenever I come up into the scene. I'm not gonna just sign the contract for $2,000. That's not me. I'm sorry. You gotta go find somebody else. I'm way past that. I'm not gonna go backwards. And if you guys really want me, you'll pay.
Well, that's, I think, where a lot of, new sports, where they take off is with people like you. Like, you need the pioneers to be able to set some of that groundwork and be able to set some of those parameters. Like, no, this isn't just a fucking show. We're athletes. Treat us that way. And if you want to see what we do and how we can perform, you got to pay us. So,
right.
So salute to that. I think that's fucking awesome. Last question I have for you, because apparently I got a baby that's going fucking ballistic upstairs and wife needs some help. But last question I have for you, I sent it to you earlier. I'm really curious to see. You had the opportunity to slap one motherfucker. Alive, present, famous, not. I don't care if it's the mailman. Who is it in your life right now that you're like, if I could just get one on them, this is who I want?
Fuck. And do they get to slap me back if they take it?
Nope.
Or I just get to slap somebody?
You just get one. It could be historical. It could be anybody. Who do you just want to lay that paw on?
Honestly, the baddest man right now to me is Tyson Fury. I want to slap the fuck out of that dude. If he lets me slap him, and I'll show him what kind of power that I come with, then people will see like, whoa, this guy knocked him out. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Tyson Fury is a bad motherfucker right there. He's a master of his craft. So if he comes stepping into the slap fight, I'm gonna show him who's the master of this craft. So,
woo, Reedy, who you got? You can slap one person, no questions asked. They can't hit you back either. Who you got?
There's been a lot of people in my life that I'd probably want to, but
I didn't.
Maybe. No, I'm just shit. Give me a second. Go ahead. You gotta have something in mind.
This motherfucker that delivered Amazon 2 days ago, chucking our shit at the front door, thinking he's sweet, antagonizing my dogs. I got 2 big ass dogs. Antagonized him at the door, and I got him on camera. I catch that motherfucker one more time, I'm slapping. I love to slap the shit out of him. He's twice my size, but if I could wind up and I could take a couple Koa pointers, take a couple lessons, and I knew he couldn't hit me back, and I got my dogs behind me and I could take him off the leash, fuck yeah, he's done. I'm unloading on that dude.
Just order something really cheap every day.
That's what I should do. Just make it like a daily order of just something stupid, like a bunch of stickers for my daughter.
Yeah.
And then just wait and just accidentally let my dogs out the front door, then slap the shit out of them.
I almost pulled it. It was last summer. My daughter was 4 at the time, and she was on her training wheels crossing the street, and this probably 16, 17-year-old kid. So, Koa, the city I live in there's some poor ass people, and then you have some lake money people, and this group of teenagers comes around. This kid, 16, and I already had asked him to slow down once. Comes whipping around this blind corner as my daughter's crossing the street, guns it in what's it called? A Mercedes 500 or 500 series, loses the back end a little bit, and he saw me in the middle of that road. He slammed on those brakes so quick. If my daughter wouldn't have been there, I would probably ripped him out of that front seat and probably ended the shock of fear on his face when I just sat there and didn't move in that road, and he's just staring at me. I think he thought I was going to murder him. I came around to that side and said, if my daughter wasn't here right now, you'd be out of this car and you would be on the ground and you might not be living still. Because
Right.
If he hit my daughter, I would make sure my daughter was right, and I would be pulling every single one of those kids out of there, and I would be in jail right now. So,
they all need a slap. They all deserve a slap.
Everyone deserves a slap. Well, hey, sorry guys, Koa, appreciate all the time, dude. This has been awesome. Quick question: what's the next event? What are we looking forward to?
My current contractors, they're just fucking lazy, I guess. But I'm getting ready for my appearance in September. So just sit tight, guys. I'm gonna sit back and watch all the people that are pioneering in the sport right now, because it's early on. So just sit back and I'm gonna see the super heavyweight roster build up, and I'm gonna have my eye out on the biggest and the baddest motherfucker to step in there. So it's power slap for sure. It's power slap.
Giant hunting. I love it.
Well, we appreciate it a lot. Guys, be sure to follow Koa on Instagram at Crazy Hawaiian, DA_CRAZY_HAWAIIAN. Shout out to Game Day and Chin Check Slapdown. And be sure to follow him on Power Slap, baddest super heavyweight slap fighter in the world, Mr. The Crazy Hawaiian. Thank you again, Koa.
Aloha, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk to you.
Oh, yeah.